I have a job and my employer said I can't do anything with my 401k.
That's a common one. So, and that's probably one of the most common questions we get is, hey, I want to start self-directing my retirement, but I still work a W-2 job. I got a 401k with my current employer. The answer to that question is whether you can move that or not is talk to your employer. That's not a decision for us. It's not even a decision for the IRS. It's really a decision. Does your employer allow to do what's called an in-service rollover? Which usually in-service rollers mean you're still working at the company, but hey, you've worked there for X amount of years, you're above a certain age, you're fully vested. Yeah, we'll let you move some of the money out. But that would be a decision that they have in their plan documents. If you have a former employer 401k, like it's an old job, you've got separation of service from that company, 100% you can move that into an IRA because you're no longer a plan participant of that old company. Even if you rolled it into the new IRA or new 401k with your current company, usually they'll let you roll those funds out because that was from an old company, not a current one.
Okay. And there's a stat out there with lost 401k. It's something like, if you're out here, you might have an old 401k laying around somewhere from your old job.
You'd be surprised how many people call me and go, they start thinking, and just by having the conversation, they remember an account they had.
That's what I'm saying, right?
And it's kind of wild. It's kind of wild. I had a guy tell me, I think there's like 30 grand in there. I don't know about you guys, but I know where. Yeah, I went in there. But here's the funny thing that I've learned about retirement accounts. It's the bucket most people rely on. It's the biggest bucket of people's wealth. More people have money in their retirement account than their bank account. There's $44 trillion in retirement accounts. So it's the largest bucket of American wealth. Yet when you ask people, where is it, or what's it invested in? 95% of people have no clue. They're like, oh, I don't know. It's in some mutual fund, I think. What are the companies? Oh, I don't know. Where's it at? Oh, I don't know. But it's the biggest bucket of wealth. So if people really focused on growing it, you'd find that people could probably retire earlier. But again, it's just people don't know what their options are. They just think they're stuck with this IRA, old 401k, and they can't invest it. But I'm here to tell you, you can invest it. If you're knowledgeable about something else, real estate included, invest in what you know best, and you'll probably grow your account better than anybody else will.
So do you all have like a platform, to get started where we can see, all right, what I'm investing in, how much my money is growing and everything like that?
So we do have a platform. So we have a client login. You can see your transactions. You can see your account activity. One thing that we don't really have is we don't have performance-based because we don't sell the investment to our client.
Gotcha.
So they can track their performance, but their performance isn't dictated by us. It's really dictated by them on the investments that they pick, right? So that's one thing that people need to be aware of is that you're picking the investment. So a self-directed IRA is really, really good for the entrepreneurial type investor that can go out, find deals. This is why it's ultra important to be a member of Azreia, because that's where I found all of my lending deals that I do in my IRA, because it is a more, you got to build a network when you're doing off-market real estate deals and self-directing, because we don't have investments to sell you. You can't pick up the phone and say, hey, Nate, I got some money sitting over there. What should I invest in? I can't sell or endorse any investments to you, but I can direct you to, hey, are you attending your local RIA? Have you been out there? Have you been networking? That's where you're going to find deals for your IRA. And I know I'm preaching to the choir.
But people listening might not.
Yeah. So again, important to have a network, important to join your RIA. And if you understand and know and have a little bit more faith in real estate, then why not invest your IRA or 401k into real estate? It's the largest asset class on the planet. It's not going anywhere. It's not an asset that's going to disappear, right? And when you really think about it, this is what's powerful to me is when you think of real estate, just think of a rental property. You've got multiple streams of income, right? You've got rents, you've got appreciation, you could sell on wraps. There's all sorts of creative things that you can do that you have full control over. Well, when you do those same investments in an IRA, especially like a Roth IRA or Roth 401k, all those income streams can be completely tax-free for life. Now, you got to wait a little while till you see the results, usually 59.5. But I'll give you an example. I've got a client that worked, diligently to stack 12 rental properties owned inside of his self-directed Roth IRA. They're not owned by him, the taxpayer. They're not owned by his LLC. They're owned by his self-directed Roth IRA.
Can you explain that?
Yeah.
Can you explain my...
Yeah. So, and again, you don't need hundreds of thousands of dollars to do this. This client bought most of these properties using seller financing. So the IRA is the owner, the Roth IRA is the owner and the buyer. We sign as the buyer, but the client has to tell us what these properties are. When he goes out and he negotiates the terms with the seller, On the buyer line on the contract is not going to read him. It's going to read, for instance, directed trust company, that's us, for the benefit of his name and his IRA. Okay, that's the buyer. We're going to sign on behalf of the buyer. So all the money gets distributed, earnest money, final funding, all comes from the IRA, and then we hold the deed, right, as evidence that the IRA owns a property just like Fidelity owns a stock certificate. Once that property is owned in the Roth, now you can get a property manager in play, but basically all the income comes to the Roth, okay? And if you've got expenses, all the expenses are paid out of the Roth, and we help with that too. So long story short, he owns 12 rental properties now, scattered through Texas, owned in his Roth IRA. He's above the age of 59 and a half. Since he has a Roth IRA, all of the distributions he takes now from the Roth are never taxed. He's off the grid. The IRS can't touch it. So every month he gets about 12 rental checks from those properties paid to his Roth IRA. He fills out a distribution form taking about $20,000 out to himself, no taxes. Does that every single month. So he's living on about $240,000 of tax-free income. And meanwhile, here's the craziest part. When he gets his account statement at the end of the year, you think his account balance goes up or down. It goes up because he's not touching, the properties have appreciated. So I don't know anybody that has a stock portfolio that goes up over time and you're taking $200,000 of distribution. It's never taxed.
So can you clarify distribution? So you're saying, so the rent's coming into the IRA and it's stacking up, right? Expenses, whatever. So then he writes himself a check?
Nope. He just fills out a distribution form to
pay himself.
No, he doesn't pay. He just fills out a distribution form. Goes online, fills out a distribution form, tells us how much he wants.
And he could pay himself, is what you're saying.
He's not paying himself. He's just taking a distribution from the IRA. Yeah, so it's not a payment. It's a distribution, and that's where you get your benefit from your IRA is through the distributions that you take from the IRA.
Got it.
Right.